You have tuned in to Society Complex with your host, Von Lee. Let's get into it. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're back at it again with this governor in Florida. He has backed a bill that would bar businesses and schools from making anyone, meaning white people, feel discomfort or guilt about.
Now, this is a very peculiar bill
Right?
because it wasn't actually needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he did this for himself. I think this is sort of a him problem
Right.
because I don't see this as an actual issue that people have. And if you do, okay, but I don't think we need a whole bill.
Say that. Right. But I was thinking because it talks about critical race theory and stuff like that, and pretty much trying to prevent certain people, I guess, from speaking up. Yeah, I quite agree with making a whole bill about this. But what I will say, is sometimes in this, what can we call it? I don't want to call it a race war because it's not a race war, but we have gotten into this black white thing over the past couple of years, especially when it has come down to the pandemic. Like since that has started, we have came down to this whole black white or people of color versus white type of thing, right? So now, and I'm not saying that it wasn't needed because the conversation obviously needs to be had a little bit more.
It
But I do
does.
think, right, exactly. But I think the conversation can be a little bit more constructive, right? And then some people, like of other races that are not people of color, I do know, and I mean I've heard people say, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard people say it, that they can't really do anything right as far as being an ally is I think this what they call it to the people of color community or black community or whatever. And things like that, which I partially do agree with because I was watching, and I don't know if you guys are like on TikTok or whatever, but I was watching this video of this white girl. She joined a black sorority. I forgot the name, so forgive me. But she posted a video. A couple of days ago, it was Founders Day for the sororities and stuff like that. And stuff, right. So she, like I said, she joined a black sorority, and people were she did the dance or whatever it's called. And people on her TikTok I mean, they badgered her to death about doing this and told her that she was wrong for joining a black sorority, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's where something that I don't agree with.
Right.
Because number one, this is what I think. I mean, I'm black, so I feel like if this white girl has joined a black sorority, if my black sisters say she's good to join that sorority, I trust them enough to say, okay, she's good. She must, you know what I'm saying? She has her ducks in a row.
Right.
So I trust them enough to be like, okay, well, if they let her in and they have done, then she's cool with me. But as far as people that were saying, why do you do this? Black people can't have nothing, so on and so forth. No, I don't agree with that. And I think that's where kind of this bill is coming from. I think some people take it a little bit overboard.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Right. Like I feel like they're taking it a little bit overboard with even though, like I said, I do understand both sides of that. I do understand being a white person trying to do the right thing, and people are telling you it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough, or that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. That's just gonna make you go back to the other side or have no opinion at all. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just saying that's my take on that. Like I feel like and I feel like sometimes it's the other way around too. But I feel like that a little bit is part of it. Now, some of y'all, I don't know, y'all might have y'all other reasons. Y'all just don't want to hear about it because you do feel guilty, and that's your problem.
like
make
I
it bad
said,
for the rest of the
that
white
is
people.
a you problem. Nobody is trying to make you feel guilty for something that's happened years and years ago. Right. No one said go ahead and pay reparations and everything like that for something that happened, well, a lot of years ago. Right. No one's saying that. But, however, you do need to know the history of these things. You need to know the history of it. You need to know what happened. You need to know why it happened. You need to know what's still happening as a result of that.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of black people are still being treated, and other colors like brown people, black people, we're all being treated the same way these days sometimes because of what happened to us years ago, because of the racism, because of all of the
slavery in general.
Exactly. Right. And I'm just saying this as a black person myself, that you cannot sit there and feel guilty. If you feel guilty for yourself, then I'm really not sure why. Because you didn't do it. Right. You know, you're not the one who did it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
It's only meant for you to learn about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Do some of these people feel guilty because they actually feel that way? Or do they feel guilty because other people are making them feel like they should feel guilty?
Right.
And that, I think, is where the conversation needs to be had at. And that's what I'm saying. Like what you said is exactly the point. Right. Because there's a fine line. Well, it's not a fine line. It's really thick line, I guess. There's a difference between somebody that actually feels guilty themselves because they think those thoughts. But there's a difference between the other person on the other side of that line, which is the same white person, that says to themselves, I don't think that way, but all this, I don't want to call it badgering, but all this information or whatever it is making me feel like I should feel guilty, even though I don't, because I don't think that way. And that is I feel like is the problem right here. That's where the conversation needs to be had. Because sometimes we have a tendency to lump all people together.
Right.
Like, well, no white person can do this. And that's just not true. That's not true. And then for even on the other side of that, for white people to come and say, well, all people of color, they've got to be guilty of something. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we have to see both sides of things. I feel like that we're missing each other's side, and we can't have a conversation because we can't, or we're not doing that. Sometimes we're not willing to hear the other side of anything. We just want to hear our side, and they just want to hear their side.
Right.
And that goes for a lot of things, but especially stuff like this. Like it goes like we can't hear each other because we're both yelling.
Right.
And that's not going to get us anywhere. And now that we have the conversation open, unfortunately, thanks to the pandemic, but like that's just where we're at, because it did open the door for that. Because now white people are feeling like they're being told what to do by wearing masks and getting vaccinations, or they can't go to the store, or they can't do this, or they can't do that.
6 feet.
Exactly, 6 feet apart. And it's basically someone telling you what you can and cannot do. And now you feel restricted, which is what the people of color are trying to say to some of them. Not all of you. I'm not going to lump you together. Some of them. You are restricting.
It's been restricting.
Exactly. You are restricting some of people of color from doing and saying certain things, or dressing a certain way, or looking a certain way. And now, even if it happened to be this, now you may know a little bit of how that feels. And you don't like it. Like I said, that is for some, not all. I have to make that clear. Some, not all.
Now, a lot of people, what they don't understand about this whole thing is that I just want to say that this bill, getting back to the bill, this bill is about it's basically racist because of the simple fact that what's being said about the bill, right? What's being said in light of it. Like, for example, Senator Shervin Jones. He said this bill is not for blacks. This bill was not for any other race. This was directed to make whites not feel bad about what happened years ago. At no point did anyone say white people should be held responsible for what happened, but I would ask my white counterparts are you an enabler about what happened, or you're going to say we must talk about history? Well, like I already said, we do need to talk about it. It has to be a conversation, but it's not meant to make you feel guilty about it. It's not meant to make you feel like that. And if you feel like that, like I said, it's a you problem. That's not nobody else's problem. But I really don't think that there's the whole bill that needs to be had for this. It's ridiculous.
I don't either. Like I said, it's a hard conversation. We all can clearly admit that. But that's why I said this is something that a conversation does need to be had. But I feel both sides need to be able to listen.
Right. They do.
And I don't know if I would call the bill racist. Now, because the bill did not originate before the governor. He's just backing the bill. Right. Now, but what I will say for him, I don't know. I'm not so sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not so sure about him. But that's a place where I think to myself, if it was being done to me, if all I heard was, if I say something to a black person, I'm wrong. If I fire them, I'm wrong. If I yell at them, I'm wrong. Or if I look at them, I'm wrong. If I tell them that they are wrong, then I'm wrong. How would I feel? If a white person said, if I was saying that to them, and I said, you know what? Let's just say, okay, say I was a police officer and I'm a black person. I pulled over a white person. Let's say they started moving around and doing so on and so forth, and I pull out my gun and I do whatever I have to do. Should I second guess myself because that person's black? I mean, that person's white, and I'm black. Should I second guess myself? We have to think about that because you can say what you want to say about this, but this is how we cannot ask for something that we are not giving either. And we also have to think about the fact that what this, not the bill itself, but what it is saying and what we are saying and doing may actually make some people feel exactly that way. Because I can't hold anybody accountable for something that their ancestors did. I can't do that.
It's wrong.
It is wrong. Because if I say as a black person to another white person, well, your family was probably owned slaves. How do I know that? Am I looking at the white person in front of me and say, your ancestors probably owned slaves, your family probably owned slaves? Do I know that? The person standing in front of me, did they do it? That's what I care about. I care about now. Yes, we know the history. And yes, I believe everybody needs to learn the history of slavery, not just for African Americans, but for Jews, because they were enslaved also. Egyptians were enslaved. And all those things. I do think that, yes. Exactly. Well, but they enslaved their own people. Just like, we don't want to talk about it, but people in Africa enslaved their own people as well.
And
sold each other.
Yeah.
But those are things we have to admit also. We have to admit that too. We're going along, you know what I'm saying, with this whole thing. We have to be able to admit that too. You can say, oh, well, that's not that. Yes, it is. And if you go and you research and you look at it, it's true. It's true. Just like Europeans, they enslaved each other too. If you didn't have enough money, or if you have to admit ourselves what we have done and what we are doing. And then we can move forward. And then, once we do that, and we see somebody else get also. Because the history does need to be learned. But it has to be done in a way that is not making it seem like everybody's doing wrong. Including white people, black people. Like we're saying something wrong if we speak up. We don't want to feel that way either. But I also don't want my fair brothers and sisters, I'll say, to feel like if I say something, they can't say anything back to me because they're afraid that I'm going to take it as they're saying it to me because I'm black. I don't want that either. Because how can we have an honest conversation if they feel like they can't say anything because they're going to feel like they're going to offend me?
Right, exactly.
Right. Because if they say something I don't like, then I shouldn't just immediately jump to, oh, you're saying that because I'm black. I don't feel like that's
shouldn't be
right
so
either.
defensive.
Exactly. We can't be so defensive. Even if somebody's telling us something about our own culture. Because sometimes we do stuff, like, there's some of that stuff that is true. We do kill each other. We can look on the news and see a black man kill another black man. Or just, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I read a story about some park in New York where a car full of black men shot up a park full of black children.
And what we got to say about that?
And what are we saying about that? But if a white person says something about that, we'll say that they're just saying it because we're black and we live in a poor neighborhood. No, I'm telling you, I'm saying it because that was my brothers and sisters from that look like me, shooting and killing children that look like me. That's what I'm worried about.
Exactly. That's what we need to be talking about right there.
Right. And that's where I think the conversation needs to begin. The conversation needs to begin within our own community. And that goes for white people too. They need to have a conversation with each other. We need to have a conversation with each other. Mm-hmm. And then we can meet in the middle. Because we're never going to get anywhere the way we're going now because we just fight each other. We don't even hear shit nobody's saying. Like, can you hear it's even happening as we sit and watch, the senators and all that. Right. They doing the same thing. Honestly. And they fighting over, just like they fighting over that, what's that bill they got going on right now? The Build Back Better. They fighting over that. And that has nothing to do with nothing except for money. They want to give people of color money and poor people money. They don't feel, the other side feel like they shouldn't have to give out any more money. Right. But that's not helping nobody.
I feel like they need to get themselves together.
They definitely do. Because they fighting over things that don't got nothing to do with the people outside of that building.
They do.
Yeah, they having a power struggle.
Right. That's all it is.
Right.
But I feel like y'all work for the American people. So you really need to get yourself together. And matter of fact, let's talk about who in the world. Senate minority leader. No.
Oh, McCarthy.
No.
Who? I thought you were going to tell me about the guy that said about the black people and then separated them from Americans about voting. Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell.
Lord, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about let's talk about how he separated black people from American people.
Right. And then he tried to make it seem like he sent his aides to say. He tried to make it seem like it was something else. I'm like, sir, you can't misconstrue that.
You can't go back and say that.
You clearly said. Matter of fact, I don't even want to misquote. Let me get your actual quote of what you said, sir.
Let's bring it up.
I don't want to say anything that you didn't say because you know what? I don't know about him. He said some crazy shit in the past. But that, I felt like, are you really just say that black people weren't Americans? said black people and Americans do vote. I'm like,
hold on, I'm about to bring it
yeah,
up.
because pull that up. I got to get the actual photo.
Yeah, because he was on some mess.
Yeah,
okay?
I got to get the actual photo.
Because I had to read it twice.
I did too, because it popped up on my phone. And I said, you know what? I got to read the whole thing. And I went to every news outlet I probably could find to hear and see what was said. But, you know, you don't just need to look at one news outlet. You need to look at several to try to get the truth.
Right.
I'm just saying, throwing that out there. I mean, I'm partial to a certain one, but I try to look at a few of them because then you can really throwing that out there. Take it how you want. I'm just saying, vigilant on your research. That go for anything. Yes, I got to know it. I got to know it. What?
Right, you have to keep saying it. You have to keep reading it.
I know, I did. I really did. I was like, maybe he said this to somebody else private.
Okay, so I finally brung it up. I'm sorry,
okay,
it took a
You're
minute.
fine. What?
Okay, so he said that African American voters cast ballots at similar rates to Americans. Now, listen, I'm gonna read it again. African American voters cast ballots at similar rates to Americans. What's that say to you?
What?
That we are separate from Americans.
Bro, you just put black people and Americans in two different categories. I don't know any other way to take that. I'm sorry.
No.
I tried to rationalize it in my mind. Maybe he didn't mean it like that. He misspoke.
No, I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked. Like, excuse me? Right. First of all, I am American.
Right. That's my stuff. What did you say? What did you say?
Yes, sir.
No.
It's time to retire.
Look, he needs to go. He really do. And a couple of other y'all need to go on too. I ain't saying you ain't did no good work at some point, but goodness gracious thing.
And then he had the nerve to say, apparently, I've never been accused of this sort of thing before, and it's hurtful and offensive, he said. And I think that some of the critics know it's totally nonsense. It's not nonsense. You said it.
You said it. How can it? Sir. Oh, my God.
Have a seat. Honey. Have a seat, sir.
No. Oh.
He said that he should have said all before Americans.
And you know what? And I feel you on that part. You are right. You should have said all Americans.
But you didn't. Let's just clear the air on that.
What it seems like to me is you said what was in your mind and you didn't expect it to come out. You said in your mind, that's really what I think, and you expected something else to come out, but it didn't happen. What you said in your mind and in your heart came out, and then that was it. And you can't take that back. That part, I'm sorry, you can't take that back. I'm sorry, you can't take that back.
And I feel like instead of apologizing for what you said,
right,
you backpedaled. And you tried to say, oh, they're trying to misconstrue my words. Nobody misconstrued anything. That's what you actually said. And another thing, how dare you? Especially from all the mess that you pulled during the Trump administration. Oh, how dare you? Let's have a seat, sir.
Right. You need to have several seats. Matter of fact, give your seat up.
Let somebody else have a turn. How about that?
And I'm not saying he's the all-around bad guy. Because he's not. Because he's done some things too. But this right here, I don't know. This right here might erase every other good thing you have done. I'm just saying, I don't know. Goodness gracious sake. Because I'm not one for picking sides when it comes to when you say Democrat, Republican, Independent, all that. I'm more about the person, more about what they stand for, what they believe understand what they say out of their mouths and stuff like that. Because we can, like, Republican and Democrat and stuff like that, it really don't matter. Because back in the day during slavery, black people were Republicans. But it's not the same Republican Party that it is today.
Exactly.
Just like the Democratic Party now is not the same as it was then. So that should tell a lot of people something. I'm just throwing that out. I don't know. I think we have to
exactly
and vote on people and actual policies and bills and things like that. But I don't know. This might have to erase everything you have done.
Exactly.
That right there, I don't know how you can backpedal from that, but I guess you wouldn't be any different from any other politician.
Yeah. Yes. I had to touch on it because it was on my mind. How can somebody say something like that and then backpedal on it? And then sit there and have the nerve, the audacity to backpedal and say, "Oh, I didn't say that. You mixed up my words."
Right.
Excuse me? Didn't nobody mix up your words?
Right.
You said that mess.
Right.
And you know you did.
Right. But you know what? This is what I'm talking about right here when we was talking about that crap in Florida. This is what I'm saying. This is a teachable moment right here. Because what he should have said was, you know what? Maybe I do think that. But why do I think of it in that way?
Right.
And his friend should have said to him, well, what made you say that? Do you really think that black people are separate from Americans?
Exactly. And I think you really think that.
And that is why, and that's what I'm saying. They need to hold each other accountable for things like that. And not on a level as to say, you're a politician, you shouldn't say that out loud. No. When you go sit at your house and when y'all go to the country club or whatever it is you meet at, the bar or whatever, that y'all should say to each other, bro, do you really believe that? You can say yes. You be like, yeah, you know what? Yes, I believe. And then your friend should have said, why? Why would you think that they are different? Are black people not Americans?
Right. Exactly.
Because I'm just throwing this out there. If you think that black people and Americans are in two different groups, we need to have two separate U.S. governments. If we can't vote on American stuff, what are we voting on?
Exactly.
Sir?
What we doing?
What are we voting on?
Hey, how did Joe Biden get in the office?
Right? Is there a black America that the rest of us didn't know about?
Exactly.
I'm just saying, sir. I mean, is that the case? Is that what happened? You think that we should be voting on black people's shit?
Right.
Like, what?
In conclusion, sir,
Right.
next time, think before you speak.
Think before you speak. Go talk to some of your.
I feel like that's something you should have said at the house.
Yeah, you should have said that at the house or something. I don't know, man. I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna sit here and say there's not gonna be racist people in the world, and there's not gonna be people that think like that, because there are. And some people you're never gonna be able to give them enough education or knowledge for them to be able to wrap their brain around there are other people in the world. And just because you don't like something doesn't mean you create bills, policies, and legislation to stop them from doing it. But when you're in a leadership position, sir, you know what? I don't know. I'm done with this.
Like I said, in conclusion,
right?
Sir, watch what you say.
No. I don't.
Sincerely, all black people in the entire planet.
And our white allies, I'm sorry, we don't
and
want
everybody.
to leave y'all out.
Yeah,
but
everybody. I'm sorry, y'all. Everybody.
No, but goodness gracious sake, we have, oh my God, I could not.
All black, brown people, everybody of color.
Right.
Sincerely us, shut up.
Right.
Just enough.
You have your age they might
get approval first or something.
Look, right, exactly, right. You know what's really getting me now though is this business with the Putin.
Yes.
Ukraine,
what y'all think is about
Russia,
to happen with that?
I don't know what's going on. I feel like
something's happening.
Right. No, it is. I mean, there's a lot happening. It's been happening for a while. But the point is, how about we deal with some of before we start going with this? Joe Biden, he just, this is his first year in office. He just completed his first whole year, right?
He did. It just passed.
He can't, look, don't try to keep being diplomatic, sir. I know it's hard. I know. But please don't. Please don't do this. Because I don't. Y'all got to. And I know some people feel like some other countries feel like they can kind of push us around a little bit.
Yeah, especially because of the last presidency.
Yeah, and test us a little bit and things like that. I mean, they did it to Obama too.
They did.
They tested him and see how
definitely.
far they can dip that toe into the hot water that is the United States of America. But as history says, the United States of America, at some point, will sneak up behind you, just like your grandma is stuck with a broom, and let you know, hey, stop that. And after that, you don't know what's going to happen. But that history has proved that plenty of times that, you'll say, okay, we'll be diplomatic for a little while, and then we'll say, okay, that's enough.
Right.
Let's stop, especially now because we're trying to rebuild ourselves.
Right.
Y'all think because the pandemic done hit, that the United States has gotten soft. No. I think y'all might want to rethink it. Just throwing that out. But I don't know what's going to happen. I'm waiting. I'm seriously going to see what's going on next. I know we have deployed troops.
Yeah.
And things like that. We have gotten our people out.
We'll definitely see.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see. Right. You'll never be able to sing Britney Spears. You tried it, though. You tried it. I'm just saying, sir.
I feel like this is a new chapter in her life. And I'm really glad that she finally got this.
I'm glad that it worked out for her finally. And then, look, Kim Kardashian was about to get involved. And say what you want about Kim K, but when she comes through, these people step back. She got a lot of power behind her. But you like her and her family or not, her, I don't know about the rest of them, but she has the power behind her.
Right.
And, she's doing her lawyer thing and everything like that. I feel like it's good. You can say what you want about her, but her doing that and being very active and putting her best foot forward and her money where her mouth is, and her platform where her mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some people that they talk real good, but they have not put their money where their mouth is.
They don't have it.
Exactly. They're not their platform where their mouth is. Just like that, I think it was Ice Cube that had so much to say about the black agenda and stuff like that, but you didn't do nothing after there was no Donald Trump. Where you at?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah, where you at, bro? I thought I thought they wasn't doing anything for the black community. We're going to speak up. I don't care about speaking up. I want those celebrities to speak up all you want to. But I want you to put your money where your mouth is. Talk about they don't belong in jail. Stuff. Are you helping get them out? It's the point.
Right.
Tim K actually got people out of jail that didn't belong there. Wrongly convicted people. I'm just
putting it out
there. I'm just throwing that out. She did. She did it real quiet and meek. She didn't do no interviews. She didn't do none of that.
And didn't.
I'm just throwing that out there like that. Yeah, I'm crazy. You know? Britney Spears. That is crazy. How your family can put you in a place like that.
Exactly. It's so scary.
It is. You know what? It is.
Something like that, it actually exists.
Right. And it is scary. And it you know what? The conservatorship did not exist for those things like that to happen. It exists for people to help other people that weren't able to help themselves. You know? But Britney Spears, I'm sorry, I don't believe that she went crazy. I mean, she might be a little crazy now, but wouldn't you if you weren't? And you got put on medication and all this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. I mean, wouldn't you be crazy?
I mean, raise your hand.
Exactly. Wouldn't you be crazy if you were Britney Spears? You had all this money and houses and planes and cars and this big bank account. You couldn't even hold on to your own part of the money that you made. All these thousands and thousands and thousands of performances, not only here but abroad. And now you're being told that you can't touch that unless you go to therapy. Not only therapy wasn't even the stipulation. The stipulation was her taking pills that she clearly doesn't need.
Right.
But imagine what would happen to you if you're taking pills that you don't need for 13 years. You're trying to detox from that. Imagine how that feels.
Exactly. It's just, the whole thing is just crazy. The whole idea is insane.
Seriously.
And have that much control over somebody's life that just going to get a pack of gum without permission. Mm-hmm. It is so sad.
Right. She couldn't have company in her own house.
Can't get married.
She couldn't get married. She couldn't even...
Can't have a baby.
No, she couldn't even have a baby. Right.
Can't do none of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, seriously? All right, yeah.
Now, a lot of us, I'm going to be honest, a lot of us take advantage of our own freedom. That we don't see, where once those freedoms are taken away, we don't realize how much freedom we actually had until it's taken away. And she had a lot of freedom. I mean, she did not have a lot of freedom. I'm sorry. Right. And those of us looking from the outside looking in, we're like, you know what? What if something like that was to happen to us? What if all our freedoms and everything, we can't even do anything to take them away? Right. And she know how that feels. And the thing is, I'm happy that she is finally out of that situation. Right. Because I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. I'd really lose my mind. Because I couldn't even, especially you can't have a baby, you can't get married, you can't buy, like I said, you can't walk to the store and buy a pack of gum. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I don't like being restricted with things, and so that would drive me over the wall.
Right. I mean, she still has a long way to go with this stuff, you know.
She does.
But, yeah, but at least she's free. And what's more sad is some of her kids, her son, jumped on board with the grandfather. Mm-hmm. I can understand that's your granddad. He jumped on board with it. And I'm like, really? You understand that your grandfather is the reason why you don't even do something like that? Because even that was, I somebody in their own child, that's not a threat.
And the thing is, I don't really blame the kids. Because the adults in their life, they're the ones who poison their mind.
Yeah, right.
And the poor children, they don't know really.
No, they don't. But they think he clearly thought he did. He thought he knew. I bet you he don't know now.
And shout out to the Free Britney movement. Because of the simple fact that we all know that it wouldn't have made so much noise without it.
Exactly. So I'm part I thought it was wrong. Get though. Mm-hmm. I'm like, because she wanted to stop, take a little break. And y'all were mad. Seemed like to me that y'all felt like anyway. She took a little break. She wasn't gonna be able to support y'all. Britney Spears, even if she never sang a day in her life ever again, she still would be good. You know what I'm saying? Like right. Just like Jay-Z. What has he made in the last couple of years? I'm not talking about his speeches. I'm talking about other stuff. He don't have to rap a day in his life ever again. He's good. And that's the same way it is with Britney Spears. She's good. She don't ever have to sing a song ever again in her life. And she started not to enjoy it. And I don't know that I would enjoy it if this was happening to me. I don't know that I would keep enjoying that.
No, I would feel trapped.
Yeah. I wouldn't enjoy that anymore. Are you crazy? Yeah, I really know. I don't even know. I don't even know how she survived. There's many celebrities and other regular people that this kind of thing happens to. I don't know how to survive something like that and come out, I guess you come out a different person, whether it's for better or worse. But honestly, I mean, seriously.
How can you do it?
How can you do that? And I'm still, I don't know. I'm still thinking off of how is money and fame really that? Is it really that serious? I guess it is for some people, but I don't know if it's serious enough for me to turn my back. Not like that. I know you gotta cut them folks off. Done with them. But I mean, goodness gracious, y'all use her to almost every.
Which is sad.
Yeah,
so sad.
Yeah, she probably is crazy now. I mean, really, look at her. I mean, y'all know goodness well, y'all see Britney on Instagram. Y'all know normal Britney Spears don't look like that. But, come on.
And she ain't been free in a while.
Yeah, she don't know how to act. She don't know what to do.
So she just going buck wild. I don't blame her. I would too. I'd be out.
Locked up, won't let you out. You could tap out. Look, you can finally see her own man.
Right.
Without somebody monitoring her. Lord, they probably bought up the condom factory if that was the case. Yeah. You know what? And I forgot that man's name. He's a good one too. Most men would have like, you know what, baby, I can't even do this with you. I'm gonna have, you know what? I wish you good luck. I bid you well because I can't do it. He's a good one too. Just saying. He's the A1. He might be a keeper, Brit. Shit. It's Britney, bitch. He's a good one. He's a good one. Honestly. Ain't like Justin Timberlake who left you in the Flash. Or what's that man she was married to? Kevin Federline. Oh my God. And Kevin Federline, he knew goodness well he didn't love Britney Spears. He did not love Britney Spears. He got with her for her money. And then he took almost half her money at that time. Kevin Federline, that's a player from the Himalaya.
He did that. I'm not gonna lie, Kevin Federline, he did that. So you right. Because what you did was wrong. But
they're wrong.
Right, but more cheers to you for getting away with it, I guess. So good. Justin Timberlake, I feel like he ain't no good either for not sticking up for her. All these people that knew what was going on with her, they witnessed it with their own eyes. I feel like y'all are no good either. You say, well, what can I do? What can I do about it? There's a lot you can do. Y'all other celebrities.
Right.
Hello? There's a lot you can do.
There's a whole lot. I have a massive platform.
I don't want to hear that. That these people think like Kanye West. Mm-hmm. Y'all just run around here letting Kanye West do and say whatever he wants.
Lord, that
yeah, like, and I feel like his celebrity friends should be. Y'all say, I got his back. I got his back. Do you? Let Kanye West has mental problems. He's already, he's bipolar and some other things.
He needs help.
Yes. And y'all know goodness well that y'all need, instead of ha-ha kiki or going out on the damn Maldives with him or to Rome and Paris or whatever, I feel like y'all should be, hey, Kanye, Kim, he was trying to get her, they were trying to get you into rehab, or maybe you should think about going. You need that. Did y'all think about that?
Nope.
Y'all didn't think about that. Y'all steady, well, Kim don't let him see his kids. Would you let Kanye West see some kids? Look at how he acts. Right. He's threatening somebody over being with his ex in a song. Look what he said when he was. I hate to bring this up, but when he was running for president or whatever president he thought he was running for, right? Look at that. Look at this, y'all. And you know what? And what really gets me about it, when he had that, he kept having those little album release parties, and he kept renting out those arenas, and people kept paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see him burn down his childhood home and this, that, and the third. Walking in a circle with all the all black hoodies lighting shit on fire. Marilyn Manson's there and stuff like that. Y'all think that's creative genius? That's not creative genius. That is a mind of somebody that needs help.
Exactly.
If I saw somebody burning, if I saw my brother or sister or mother or whoever burning down my family home in some kind of creative, quote unquote, thing that they showing to the public, and they saying these crazy things in these songs and whatnot, I would be getting them help.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting there applauding.
I would not be applauding that. It's not genius, and people, and you can say what you want, but if you watch those things, you can see people clearly freaked out because it. Come on, y'all can say what you want about that, but that's somebody that needs help, and the black community is not helping Kanye West. And now he has turned it against his ex-wife and so on and so forth. But you also have to understand, say what you want about them. Like I said, say what you want about them. Y'all can say, well, they all, they get with black men and they destroy them. No.
Try again.
No. Try again. Nobody can destroy anybody. It's not what they should be mentally. And Kanye West is not there. Kanye West has a lot of problems. I'm just saying, Kanye West got a lot of problems, and it did not start with Kim Kardashian. I'm just saying, and y'all, like I said, y'all, some of y'all probably going to read this, but it's true. I know you want to talk about that. And I said, Kanye West, I like some of his music. I do think when he's in sound mind, he does make good music.
Right.
He does. But this stuff right here, that's not a person I want to follow. I'm just not. And it doesn't have anything to do with I think, like I said, Kanye West, he just It's not going out popping bottles. It's not none of that. It's not none of that. Going out there. No. He needs some serious. He does need to go to rehab. Continue taking his medication and things like that. And we need to be encouraging him to do that. Not calling him a creative thinker. Even though he is in a certain respect of this. But this stuff he's putting out now, that's not what that is. I'm just saying, if he continue on like this, I don't know how much longer Kanye West is going to be with him. And that's real.
That's real, though.
That's real. And this is what I'm saying about holding the black community, or even, it don't matter what community, holding your own community accountable for mental health, and political, personal, all that kind of stuff. This is what that is. Right. Kanye West is a perfect example of that.
Definitely. And I think as far as when being in the community is concerned, you do have to hold your community accountable, people in your community accountable rather, for issues like mental health and things of that. Because if you don't, we will have people running around that actually do need real help, and we're just ignoring them or laughing at them or pointing at them or doing whatever you do, which is not conducive to their healing. And for that matter, we have a lot of people in our own community that we shame for going to therapy, or we shame for taking medication, or we make fun of them for those reasons. And I think that instead of doing that, we should be a lot more accepting when it comes to those things.
And supportive.
And we should make sure that they know it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to get help.
Right.
You need your medication? That's fine.
That's fine. Right.
You're not going to be ridiculed, made fun of, or being called all kinds of different names.
Right.
You'll sit there and you'll be able to get your help without feeling like you're the alien.
Exactly. And it's a lot of things out here, that get help. I was thinking about even celebrities. They're still in the same boat as we are. Money, clearly the money don't make you that happy or that grounded or where you need to be. I'm just saying, Robin Williams and supposedly Cobain. I don't think but in fact, just recently, Lord, I'm so sorry. Like so much going on. Not Taylor Swift.
Oh, it was Regina King.
Regina King, her son, and many others. And what? And this is before I go on. This is a trigger warning for mental health. Okay, but what really gets me about current situations and a lot of other ones that don't do those type of things, that may just be in rehab or going to therapy and things like that. The people surrounding them will say, "Oh, they were so happy, they were so full of life, and they were so this, they were so that." Are you sure? They really wanted to this, that, or they really enjoyed. Are you sure of those things? Or is that how you want to remember them? Or is that what's actually going on?
Right.
Or did you pretend like you had, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you living in a fantasy world? Because a lot of these people walk around with smiles, and on the inside, they are not smiling
at all.
They're laughing, ha ha ha. But are they inside? We only see what we want to see.
Right, we do.
And that's what comes from mental health. That's why mental health doesn't have a lot of support. Because we see what we want to see, not what is actually going on. You ever think that those people are just putting on those fronts for people like you?
Mm-hmm. Which is completely crazy. Right. Because we really should not have to. If we're unhappy, we should say that.
Right, and we should be able to say it. Instead of somebody being like, oh, well, you know what? It gets better. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying I'm not happy right now. How about asking me why? What's wrong? Can I get this? Can I help you this? That?
What can I do to help?
What can I do to help instead of just pretending like that person's not saying what they're actually saying to you? Or pretending like you don't see what you do actually see. You know, like I feel like that's a big part of that. Like we just pretend, we'll say, oh, well, nothing can hurt you if you don't let it. No, what you did and said hurt my feelings. And yes, I may be this, but it did actually hurt my feelings. I may just take it harder than you do. And it may last me 3 fucking years.
Right.
Like, how about let's not say those things to me? Oh, well, you know, because I mean, that one really gets me though. You know, when people say, well, you can't let it do you like that, or you can't, it won't hurt you unless you let it. Yeah. You know, we have come to a conclusion that it's okay to just do and say whatever to people and they should be able to handle it. I mean, I used to think like that myself. I mean, I kind of do still sometimes, depending on what it is. But I also learned to look at other people and know whether they can handle what I'm going to say or not. Because if I'm a bold person and I see somebody may not be as bold as me, I'm not going to say that thing to them.
Right.
Or at least I'll think about how I'm going to say it. I do believe in telling somebody the truth no matter what. Because you can't also hide somebody's mental health and try to just navigate around it.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't help them.
Walking on eggshells.
Exactly. That doesn't help them either. But what you can do is watch what you say and how you say it to people and care about somebody other than yourself. You don't pretend like that is okay. The other person is okay when you know they're not. I'm just saying. Maybe you can move forward with that. And yeah, and that can go a lot of different ways, you know. Especially for men. That men act like they don't have to have, there's nothing wrong with their.
Right.
They laugh at other men for feeling.
Which I'm proud of the movements now that are going around where it's knocking down those barriers.
Me too, especially in young men, you know, boys. You know, I appreciate and I respect the father and mother, but the father really for telling their sons that it's okay to feel their feelings, it's okay to talk, it's okay to give me a hug. You know, it's okay for those things to happen. Like, it's okay if you want to cry, go ahead and cry. Like, those things are okay.
Right.
And I'm glad that there are these fathers out here that are, and even single mothers, sons, you know, that are teaching your sons that it's okay. And also another thing I'm proud of is that we're not teaching women and little girls that we just have to suck it up. You know, this is the way the world is, suck it up.
Right.
You know, or if you're gonna cry, go cry in your room or in your closet. I'm proud of that also. You don't have to, you know, do those kind of things. Even though some of us feel like we have to, because that's how we were raised and things like that. But there are more and more parents today that are teaching their kids. You can call them snowflakes and whiny or whatever you want to call it. Like, you know, I'm not talking about just letting your kid cry over everything. That's not what I'm talking about. But, you know, because sometimes you can't just let that happen. Obviously, right. You guys know that. Or even if it's not parents, very new. But beyond that, you know, we're allowing our kids to feel feelings, allowing them to say, you know what, and when they grow up now, they might say, hey, you know what, I don't like this. I'm going to quit. And people are like, you know, I read a comment on Facebook about lady, how we comment on, but saying how I don't know where we let our kids quit everything and quit everything. Everybody's started. And I don't think that's true. I think that what happened is we realized that there are certain things that we don't have to put up with anymore.
Right.
We don't have to put up with low wages. We don't have to put up with our boss being mean to us. We don't have to put up with our parents being mean to us. We don't have to put up with our girlfriends and boyfriends beating on us and being mean to us and doing whatever it is. You can say, well, people are mean. Yes, they are mean, but I don't have to stay with you and I don't have to deal with you. That's what we're saying now. Instead of before when we were like, well, we're just going to deal with it. And then when you deal with it, you get to deal with it. And then their kids deal with it. And then now you created some really mean people, some serial killers probably, some narcissists. And, I mean, do I need to continue with what kind of people those people have become? I'm just saying, examine yourself. Examine your own thing. And tell me what that's for. Just saying.
This was a lot.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was, but it was definitely great. Conversation.
So did I.
And yeah, and it's become very important. So, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me, Von Lee, on Society Complex. And please don't forget, you can listen to this podcast pretty much any place where you get your podcast. You can also join me on Facebook at Society Complex, or you can type in at Society Complex 1. You can join me on Twitter at Society Complex 1, and you can definitely join me on TikTok at Society Complex 1. Or you can save yourself some time, hit that Google, and just Google at Society Complex 1, and then everything pops right up right there. Okay? So make sure you go ahead and do that. And like I said, make sure you stay tuned for all my things coming up, for my true crime. And don't forget, I'm doing a panel if you are open to talking about some really hard topics. Talk about racism, politics, schools, coronavirus, things like that. Make sure you shoot me an email or comment on any of my social media and let me know that you're willing to do that, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me on Society Complex, and
Reign True. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining me, and please be safe for this coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize your hands.
Wear your mask.
Right, wear your mask. Stay 6 feet apart. Try to stay in your house as much as you can, and things like that. Okay, so make sure you keep you and your family safe. Whatever it is that you decide, vaccine or not, mask or not, whatever it is, make sure you do whatever you need to do to keep you and your family safe. And please think about somebody else as you are making those decisions. Thank you so much, and stay tuned. We'll be back next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much. And we are back here on Society Complex with your host, Von Lee,
and Reign True. Welcome back. Welcome back.
just now tuning into us. We were just discussing, before we went off on our break, Florida governor, which is always the topic of craziness. And we discussed racism. Mitch McConnell. Yeah, we discussed what he said about apparently black people are not Americans. We discussed that. And then, I don't know, we discussed a lot of things. So make sure you just go back and make sure you listen to the podcast, which can be found on many, many platforms. Apple Podcasts, Anchor, obviously is what we're on now, Google,
Pandora.
Podcast, Pandora, iHeartRadio.
Pretty much anywhere you get your podcast.
Exactly. Pretty much anywhere you can get it, that's where we are. Make sure you stay tuned. I have plenty of things coming up, especially for my crime. I'm going to be finishing my segment on Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. I'll be doing some stuff on Ghislaine Maxwell, which has just been convicted of her sex trafficking thing. So we're going to be doing something on her. We're going to be doing something on Jeffrey Epstein. And stay tuned definitely for true crime. I'm going to be diving back into some old true crime things. Serial killers. And I'm going to do something on school shootings because that's like unfortunately become a thing, which is not good, obviously. But that's some of the things I want to put the history of that. And make sure you stay tuned for our true crime, and I will be back with my wind down Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So make sure you stay tuned for those also. And if you haven't already, go ahead and go back and listen to my wind down Wednesdays here on Society Complex. It's very, very good. Talk about caring and just refine knowledge. So make sure you go back and listen to them. And also, just in case any of you are interested, I want to do sort of like a round table here on Society Complex. And we're going to talk about quite a few things. So if you're interested in that, make sure you click on the link in any of my social media, which I'm on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and many other things. So just Google. I'm not advertising for Google. They don't pay me for that. Just saying. Just Google at Society Complex 1, and you'll be able to find all my podcasts, and you'll be able to find anything that you need to contact me. Okay, so make sure you do that if you are able and willing to, voice your opinion on this podcast. Okay, so what else we want to get into?
Let's talk about this Britney Spears.
All right,
let's talk about her. First of all, congratulations for getting free from that weird. And she can speak for a lot of us who have toxic family members, and she really has broken free from that chain.
She did. Right.
And I applaud her for her strength. Because I know that it cannot have been easy all those years being trapped in the conservatorship. And I just cannot imagine. Now, some of us do have toxic family members.
Definitely.
That we probably should cut off.
Right. Even if you don't want to admit it, definitely.
And just because they're your family does not mean that they can't get cut off. Right. And that's what this says. If you really look at the whole thing, as a whole, this is what this is saying. This is what her actions are saying to other people. You can break free of this chain, even if it's not a conservatorship. It is, it is something that it's an invisible chain that keeps us locked into these people. And just because they're your family does not mean you can't cut them off. And a toxic person is a toxic person.
So, okay, you can cut their asses right on off, not feel any remorse. Seriously, people think that you can't cut your family off, your parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever. Yes, you can. You sure can. If they are disrupting your life to a point where it is no longer feel is allowed, you sure can. And I'm glad that she finally able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the lawyers that she had at first, perhaps, but clearly they didn't hire her. They didn't work for her. They worked for her family. They didn't work for Britney Spears. They didn't work for her. Clearly, it took her. It should not have taken her this long.
It shouldn't have. And what's sad is the fact that people around her sat there and saw what was happening and still did not do anything about it.
Right. Her sister tried to she this and this. She said, girl,
you did nothing.
She was lying. You did nothing. You knew it full well what's going on, and you did nothing. And then she's got this book tour business. And she's trying to put her sister out there, basically saying, basically calling her sister crazy. I feel talking about she pulled a knife on her and she locked her in a room and all this and that and many other things. No, what you did, ma'am, sit back, watch, probably collected some money if we being real. Probably collected some money off of it somewhere, somehow. And then when she got done with it, then all of a sudden you were on her side. No, you weren't, and no, you're not. Exactly. I'm just saying, no, you weren't, and no, you're not. And now you're trying to go off on this book tour, and act like you did something. I don't know.
And you're still trying to profit off of Britney Spears.
Exactly right. They are.
How about you make your own career?
Exactly. And her dad is still trying to secure and say he want her to pay his lawyer fees and this, that, and her. No.
That's your problem, sir.
It is. It is his problem. You pay for your own lawyer. And I see he backed off when she got some new lawyers. They said, okay, well, you want to play this game, let's see how much and how long you can play. I see he backed off of it then. He did the same thing, but I don't really know anything about it. And I wasn't collecting any funds. And I had her best interest at heart.
All this mess. No, you didn't.